Yo, good God morning. This is my second time doing it. My Worth It Wednesday. I am here. Uh, yeah, I'm here. Good God Wednesday morning. How everybody feeling? I was really kind of stuck in a brain fart. But yeah, I did it live, and um, I took it down. I started thinking about some other stuff, and I'm having one of these days today where I'm having to encourage myself because today I just don't feel like it's worth it. I don't feel like um I don't feel worthy today. And so that was one of the things. But when I got off, I started thinking about that was what the first one was about, and it was a little transparent, but I deleted it. So I started looking at um the moisture. It had rain, and the things that come up during storms and conflict, and comparing it really to conflict. But the storms that we go through in life, or the storms that happen, um, you never know what's really there until a storm hit. You never know what you really made out of until you go through the fire. You never know how much you want to go grow until it start hurting and you keep going. You never know what the deal is, the truth, until you go through some things, until you weather the storm, until there is some conflict. We don't want conflict, right? We don't like conflict, and we don't like going through anything, and we don't like um having uncomfortability moments, and we don't like, we'll rather dismiss it, and we'll rather avoid it, we'll rather not talk about it, we'll rather just say I'm done, I'm done with it. And so but it's in those moments that I gather today that that's when you're revealed. That's when the truth come out. That's when your you see the weapons that you fight with. You see the artillery that you have. And it's how you use your artillery, because anytime we get into a fight, anytime we battle anything, even the boats, how they weather the storm and how they have to be prepared, and some of the tactics that they use. And you have to be very aware of your feelings. And sometimes you have to know when you're going through something, or when you're in a fight, or you're in a battle, and it's a conflict. You have to know that, okay, I am arguing with my best friend about something, I'm arguing with my business partner about something, I'm arguing with my spouse about something. What artillery am I using? What are the things that I'm doing to try to quote unquote win this fight? And what I mean is, when you are in relationships with any form of person, for any reason, if you're fighting to demolish somebody, to destroy them, to hurt them, because you want to win, and they are the love of your life, they're your best friend, they're your world, they're your parent, they this, they that, and you doing it to kind of be the winner, you really have become an enemy. And this is why I guess now the phrase say you sleeping with the enemy. And it's not the enemy because they're enemy of yours. It's because a true enemy, it's because we fight with the closest people. We get into it with the people. We go through storms with our closest people. We go through, life. And so when we're going through all the outside stuff, when I start attacking the one I love, I became their enemy. They became my enemy. And we expect that when we're done fighting, it's supposed to go back to all lovely dovelies. It ain't gonna go back there, because it was some things that was said, some things that was shared that needed to be known, needed to be shared, but it was the way that it was said that does the damage. I'm saying this now to hurt you. So in conflict, we don't want to deal with conflict because we don't want to deal with the hurt and the pain, right? But when we go through conflict on this Worth It Wednesday, you're worth going through the conflict. You're worth going through the storm. When things happen in a storm hit in the ocean or whatever, right? And when dead bodies are in there, or things are dead or can't stay in the water, after a storm happen, it come to shore. After waves happen, it come to shore. After things that's not supposed to be there, the dead fishes, it all come up and it comes to shore. And so when you are weathering a storm, things gonna come to shore. Things gonna come up. Do it come rough? Do it come nice? Do it come easy? How do you handle the things that are said within the storm? How do you handle things that are brought to your forefront in the storm? How do you handle things that are going to come your way in the storm? We don't want the storm, but you worth the storm. You worth the conflict because things need to come out. How do you deal with it? That's that's the part of how we deal with the bodies that we find. How do you deal with the the hurt that is still there? How do you deal with the anger that you still have? How do you deal with the resentment that you still hold? How do you deal with being so guarded and not open? And how do you deal with those things? But when everything is fine and everything is gravy and everything is in the woosah and everything is in the kumbaya, you're not going to know what you really have in you, or what the things you need to confront, the things you need to face, the things you need to clear out the way, the things you need to get the real understanding. And so the reason why I brought up that, because it's some the argument or the conflict with the loved one, we end up saying a lot of things because it's in us, but we don't want to deal with it and talk about it when it's sunny outside. Right? It takes the water, it takes the storm, it takes the rain for stuff to come up to say, now let me deal with how I feel. Let me deal with what they said. Let me deal with the residue or what would happen years ago. Let me deal with, this is how they really feel about me. This is what they really think of me. So then you have to deal with all this stuff. Then if you say something, wait, is that how I really feel? I do feel like that, but it ain't, I don't want it to come out that way. I may have this feeling, but it's not a feeling. The way I just served it to him was to really tear them down. And so I tore down the one that I love. I tore down the one that I desire to be with. I tore down my best friend for 20 years. I tore down my parents. I tore down because it may be the truth, but how the truth is delivered is important, especially when we're in conflict with people that um are life partners. When I say life partners, I mean any partner, business, um, relational, friendship, parent. It don't matter. It don't matter. But you're worth finding out what needs to be in you. I mean, what needs to be in you and what needs to come out of you or what needs to be dealt with. You worth that on this good old Wednesday. You worth having some storms. You worth having some conflict. You worth having some uncomfortable little moments. You are worth that, because out of that comes the flowers. Out of that comes where you know how to trim your trim the flowers, trim the weeds off of your flowers, trim the weeds and the dead off of the branches. You know how to, you know what area you can see now that I still need work on this. I still need understanding on this. I still need to be in the place of maturing. I still need to be working on me. And then most times when we have conflict, and then the people that we're fighting up against, most times we deflecting, you know, in some cases. And then the cases that we're not, and then when we deflect, we need to look at, dang, wait a minute, that's really my issue. And the times that is not a deflection and it's truth, like, dang, they was right. I really need to fix that. They was right. I really need to handle that. So when you in conflict, people think conflict mean run. People can do you wrong and they can slight you, and people can come back and change. But if they don't, that's still your choice. If they do, they still your choice. It's still your choice. We have fights and argument with those who are closest to us, and we will give them chance after chance sometimes, and sometimes we don't. But if you're in the battle with the world and your partner, the one supposed to have you down, you supposed to have them down. You supposed to cover them and protect them. And y'all ain't at that place because now y'all hurting and killing each other and thinking y'all gonna stand against the world together. You're not. Because you needed to take the moment of conflict. You needed to take the moment of the storm. You needed to take that moment to say, you know what? My relationship is worth it. My friendship is worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth it to find out the truth. I'm worth it to be a little bit uncomfortable so I can be healed. I'm worth it to become better. I'm worth it to change. I'm worth it to let somebody in. I'm worth it to let them out. You know, these people. So when we are having these moments of conflict and it don't feel comfortable, I had thought about a while ago, right? You know, everybody like, I need my peace, I want my peace. Isolation and peace is two different things. You can have peace within the storm because you are peace. You are one who is going to do the work for you to calm the storm. I've always wanted to be the peacemaker. So sometimes I do kind of try to get to the resolve quicker. And sometimes it can be overbearing. And sometimes I just need to step back. And I'm learning that, you know? But being the peace don't mean you isolate yourself. Because most time when people are in isolation, they don't deal with the real issues. Some people, they need that time. And everybody, let me say this, everybody needs your time to deal with you. You need your time. So, but when I'm saying isolation, I mean cutting everybody off. Somebody stepped on your toe accidentally because you was going too fast. And then watch where you was going, and the ending of that was somebody else stepped on your toe. But because somebody stepped on your toe, you was upset. And so then you cut everybody off, and that somebody was your mama. So you cut your mama off. You cut your brother off. You cut your sister off. I just need my peace. They said something that I didn't like. I need my peace. So I'm just gonna cut everybody off. I'm gonna, just be by myself. That's not peace. That's hiding. That's not doing the work that needs to be done within you. And thinking when you come out of isolation, everybody around you and everyone around you now gonna understand. Oh, and they gonna kind of go back into what they got going, what now is peaceable because the argument is over. No, you still gonna have the argument. You still gonna have the conflict. You still gonna have the bad root if you don't deal with the root, if you don't tend to it, if you don't get the weeds, if you don't do the work. So conflict is necessary. Uncomfortability is necessary if you really want to grow. If you really want to be healed, if you really want healthy relationships. Everybody, my brother said this, talking about everybody talking about, oh, no toxicity. I don't want no toxic this, no toxic that, but you won't deal with your own toxicity that you're bringing to the table. But you're worth dealing with it. That conflict, the moment that you're in, the seasons that we're in, the storms that we're in, and the storms that we're battling, it's worth it. The fire that you're going through is worth it. You're worth that because now you know what you can withstand. You know what you need. You know how to trim it. You know how to deal with it. You know how to conquer it. You know how to be better from it. All right, that's it for today on the second one. I'm none other than your GPS, Marnisha MT. That's me. Y'all have a dynamic, great God Wednesday, and know that you're worth the conflict, so you can know what's in the storm, what's there, what needs to be changed, what needs to be worked on, what needs to be healed. Remember, always bless somebody today. To give somebody an encouraging word, tell somebody you love them, but most of all, grace yourself. All right, I'm out. Love you. One.